Internet Explorer is holding the internet back, by the way. That's why we're not advanced farther than we have. Is the Internet Explorer. I have a whole lesson on that one too. Did you come to one of the lessons? Were you one of our lessons for the library?
No, I used to work in the library.
Okay. I don't know if you were jumped in one of those sessions.
So we have to buy fiber.
Sorry,
But what I'm saying
I
is,
digress.
when I click on the image, this is what it comes up to
So yeah, Internet Explorer will give
under
you
my file.
what?
And he said, well, that's because it's internet. Well, that's all I have is internet.
Internet Explorer wants you to go download the SVG viewer or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, if you're using XP right now, it's a 10-year-old operating system. Windows XP is 10 years old.
What about Windows 7?
Windows 7 is a little newer. I don't know if it supports SVG files.
So then how are we supposed to get the files, the
You saved it,
images?
right? Right click and save.
I did, and then it did this.
That's because you try to open it.
Yeah. Don't I want to open it?
In Inkscape.
Oh, okay,
Sorry,
okay,
Inkscape.
okay.
Yeah, we're just downloading it from here.
Okay, that makes sense. So don't try to open it not in Inkscape because it's going to come up like this.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, if you just try to open it anyway.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Just download it on your hard drive. Download it just like any other file. Just save this just like any other file. And then you go back to Inkscape, file open, just like any other program.
Ooh, I'm going to look up a man. Look.
And wherever you saved it.
I'm not digging that. Ooh, pretty borders.
I drew a mushroom. Oh, there it is. Hi.
Because you opened it in Inkscape.
Yes.
You can see it. Now, if whatever image you download, check it out. So if I click on it, in my case, all these individual shapes are grouped together. If you click on your object and you've got multiple objects, then it's probably not grouped together. In my case, I need to right-click on it and tell it to ungroup. When I do that, you'll notice that these shapes now, I got multiple groups here, these are individual shapes. So I've got a group within a group. I right-click on ungroup again. That was another group.
Mine just tells me to group.
I did mine group and it did the boxes around it, but it won't let me separate any of them.
So you might have to click off to deselect them all and then go back to the one individual box.
Yes.
No, it's just letting me bring.
Okay, so you see in my case, my little school bus here, it's got the red background. If I move the red background, that's what's left. This is how it was pieced together, the shape itself.
Why does mine have a giant blue line across my screen?
Giant blue line, did you draw this?
Not giant, just a little blue line all the way across. No. I opened up the picture and that's what happened.
I made mine a yellow school bus.
And then it went to landscape. Like what landscape?
Oh, so you drew a ruler, so it's just a marker.
I'm just going to come and do it here. I think it would be easier.
Yeah.
Just come and do it at the computer lab since I've downloaded all these different clip arts, borders, and that looks pretty. Oh, so it's under my name already.
It's all separated for you.
Oh, perfect. Ugh. That's true.
I can't get mine to regroup.
You have to select it all, and for whatever reason,
Oh, like
regroup.
Control A?
Control A and then hit Control G will group it,
Oh, okay.
or you go to the object.
Oh, and I
Okay, I don't have regroup.
This is a very detailed.
Yeah, which is why I picked something else.
There's a lot of.
I started clicking on it, and then what are we supposed to do?
Whatever. You can right click on it. I'm just showing you that how these objects are created. So when you're doing your presentations, doing student learning materials, whatever, you can manipulate some of these.
But how do you regroup it back together?
You can select it all. You can press Control G as a keystroke for group, or just go to Object Group.
So do you have to have it all separated to select it all, or?
Well, if you're like in my case, all these things were all grouped together, but I wanted to get to the very bottom layer, which is the purple, the bus color. So I wanted it was red. I wanted to make it yellow. Now that I've done that, I can put it back and have to move it.
That's too traditional. You should pick another color.
You know, like blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Now
Now it's rocking. Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
put some flames on it too.
Yeah.
So then, if I want to move this now, if I try to grab something, well, it's not grouped. I grab the wrong thing. Control G, undo, select everything. Keystroke is Control G, will regroup everything. Now it's one object. I can click and rotate, so I can easily move up on his wheel even more. And yeah. We can grab the text tool and type on it. You can't right click it on group, you have to go to, or sorry, you can't right click in group. You have to go to object and group or hit Control G. The little A on the far left on the tools. Chris, how much time do I have?
I'm sorry.
How much more time do I have?
It's 5:08, so 5 more minutes.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
So I type with text and there's my bus text tool.
Why did mine come up with these lines all in the background?
Neat. You changed your background object to view a grid. So somehow you changed your.
So how do I change that back?
I don't know.
Well, you're the computer guy.
What's that? Just view grid. Can you turn it off? There you go.
There we go. So
Leave the grid on. It was cool.
Oh, that is.
it was throwing me off with all this.
Questions about Inkscape? I want to go ahead and move on real quick. I know you are having so much fun. It's free to download. Put it on every computer you sit at. Let everybody play with this stuff. Teach other people how to use this. YouTube is your friend. YouTube, go to Inkscape tutorials. You'll find thousands of them out there. Some of them 10-year-olds are teaching how to use this stuff.
Oh, geez, they're gonna feel stupid.
It's cool. I learned from these guys.
From the
There's
10-year-olds?
Yes, from the 10-year-olds. Actually, he's 13 or 14. He was funny too, man. He was cracking me. It's good stuff. YouTube it,
Type
Inkscape.
it in YouTube and it'll have
Go to
all kinds
Inkscape
of-
tutorials, how to do this in Inkscape, add stroke, how to save files in Inkscape. YouTube is your friend. Google and YouTube. They're my best friends. I don't get out much. Okay, what was others? I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah,
show you real quick.
say anything. Okay.
There's another one called GIMP.
GIMP.
What am I doing next to
How do I turn this?
GIMP.org.
GIMP.
I'm back on Firefox.
Oh my gosh.
GNU Image Manipulation Program is what that stands for. If you've ever used Photoshop, this is the alternative. This one's free. Photoshop's a couple $100. I still didn't get rich, so I'm doing this.
GIMP.
This is
G-I-M-P.
like Photoshop?
This is like Photoshop, right? So
.org.
photo manipulation. If you want to edit your photos,
Yeah.
do some touch-ups on your photos before you put them on Facebook.
I do this on photo buttons, but this one's
This is a lot more powerful than most of those applications that are out there. You can do more with it.
What was that other one? Clip
if you
art
wanna,
was www.
Touch up some photos for your autobiography project.
Open.
You can do that. This would be a good source.
Make them black, white, make them look old and whatever if they're not antiquish already. These are raster-based images, so we're dealing with bitmaps, little bitty dots, those pixels that make up an image. If we scale the image, it will look pixelated because we're dealing with rastered images. JPEGs, bitmaps, PNG files, and the like. Okay, that's what I was going to say on that.
Well, how you do it?
When you go download it, after you download it to your computer, you go to YouTube and ask YouTube a question. How do I use GIMP?
Oh,
GIMP tutorial, GIMP this, that.
It's like how you
Lots of good stuff there.
Oh man.
If you want to go really advanced, these are all available on Windows and Mac and Linux. Inkscape, GIMP, and Blender is another one that's available.
Blender.
If you want to go really crazy, this is a lot more. There's a lot more of a learning curve here on Blender.org. One of my favorite open source projects, one of my favorite open source communities. They create 3D objects, 3D animation, video editing. You can use this program for video editing.
Blender.org.
Blender.org.
Oh, with the B-L-E.
Bless you.
I almost spelled it like that too. That has
Here are some images that were created with this program.
How difficult is it to use this program?
Very difficult.
Okay.
If you're like not even
Oh, so don't use this computer program. Well, thanks.
I wanted to show you what's capable with open source free software. This guy was 16 years old when he started. He's just turned 24. He travels all over the world teaching Blender. He's from the southern tip of Argentina.
I'm 19 and apparently I'm
He didn't have access to computer or internet. Finally got one when he was about 16. Already a good artist. He taught himself. He got in the community, started learning how to do this. Other people taught him. And They finally got the internet and started doing it. And
Can you do this?
I can do some of that. I'm not that good. He's one of my rock stars. Pablo Vasquez. Blender.org, this is just the gallery. I'm just checking the gallery out.
Yeah, features and gallery.
If you do gallery,
Oh. Somebody made an old guy. That's horrible.
Blender Cookie is a good site. Like YouTube's out there, a lot of stuff. But if you want a good place to start, great tutorials, I'm watching this website at least once or twice a week. I'm on the site. BlenderCookie.com is a beautiful site. They do great tutorials to learn how to do some of the stuff.
So Blender.org is another program we can use?
It's another program. So that one's open source. It's available for Windows, Mac, Linux. Inkscape, available for Windows, Mac, Linux. And GIMP, available for Windows, Mac, Linux. All the other cool tools I would have shown you were all available for Linux. And you'd have to use Linux, which is 100% free and open source software. It's a free open source.
So, like, if we can make something, is this like extra credit?
Sure.
Since it's so hard?
I'll give you extra
like
credit.
superb extra points. Maybe a couple extra points.
Like 1,000 points?
So if they make something awesome and then give it back to the community, they can upload it to clipart.org.
I mean, if you go out of the way and you make something that is impressive that no one has done, sometimes you see that I add some extra points to that assignment. So it
Got
may
it.
be over and beyond what that assignment is actually worth. So, but if you actually go above and beyond. So.
Okay.
Well, we're looking for that easy 1,000 point.
You should be able to, get it made. Work hard if you meet all the requirements.
This is what I pitched for
Make
education.
an
I
old
believe
woman to go with the old guy.
100% that K through 12 should be using Linux as well as higher education. 100% free and open source operating system, just like Mac or Windows.
It's still going.
Linux operating system, Ubuntu Linux. It's a whole new way to change, right? You're gonna have to change your mindset. Everything you know about technology, it's a lie.
Is it easier to use?
Yeah.
Offering.
I've had 3-year-olds use it.
Linux, what?
Linux, it's called Ubuntu Linux. This version is called Ubuntu Linux. There's lots of versions. Ubuntu, it's a word that means community, collaboration, sharing. Ubuntu. Ubuntu.org. .com, sorry. Have you ever heard of the One Laptop Per Child initiative? Anybody? One laptop per child. Amazes me. That is so crazy. These are things that are changing the world, and our education system has no idea what it's about.
Friendship ISD has that initiative where every child has a laptop in the classroom.
Most
Why didn't they
countries,
come out with this sooner?
well, most countries are switching to Linux, by the way.
He keeps showing us all these different ones. I'm getting
I'm sorry, I'm showing you a bunch of stuff, but
Sugar
How do you
Linux.
spell Linux?
Linux.
L-I-N.
Yeah.
Is that a
Sugar Linux is
website?
an operating system designed for kids. It's designed to be very easy to use. One laptop per child.
Sugar what? Sugar what?
Sugar Linux, Sugar OS.
Okay.
That's the name of the operating system. Just like you have Microsoft Windows.
You know,
that's an
I'm just
operating
gonna
system.
stop at
You have Mac, that's an operating system.
This is like going way over my head.
It's nowhere we have to let it sink in just a little bit. Question yourself, why do you use Windows? Why do you use a Mac?
Because someone
Because that's what's on my computer.
I
Who's
usually
paying for
put
that?
it on the computer when I bought it.
Why
Oh, yeah,
was it on your
yeah.
computer when you bought it?
Because that's what they told us it was installed.
Why did you have to use it?
Because it's on there?
Because you don't know any better. Think about it. You're paying for that. Who gets the money? Now think about it in education. Right? This is a computer operating system, just like Microsoft and Windows, but we don't have to pay for this.
has an antenna.
Yeah, these are designed to be third world countries. They network with themselves because there's no internet, there's no electricity there. These are hand cranked, foot cranked, solar electric. They can connect to the internet. They can talk to each other. It's a kid's computer. They get to take it home. The families who've never been in education, now they get exposed to learning materials and language materials and the alphabets. All over the world. This is the kind of stuff. Linux is becoming more and more used. Russia. You've heard of Vladimir Putin?